Imagine that you're 5 years old again, and you've just started at a new school. But it's not a regular school, actually. It's a boarding school, and it's being run by an oppressive regime that has occupied your country. Your teacher hands you a red sweatshirt, and it has some characters on the back in a foreign language that now your teachers expect you to learn and speak, instead of the one that your parents taught you since birth lovingly. It's lunchtime. You hear the sound of other children talking, and you see your teacher walk over with a group of police officers. The officer grabs your arm roughly and pricks you on the finger, taking a sample of your blood before moving to the next child. As your eyes begin to water up, you wonder, will you ever see your family again? Right now, inside Tibet, nearly 1 in every 3 Tibetans has had their DNA stolen, sequenced, and cataloged by the Chinese government in their attempt to create the world's largest DNA database of innocent people. My name is Pema Doma, and I'm the daughter of Tibetan refugees. I'm also a Tibetan human rights and climate activist and executive director of Students for a Free Tibet. Tibet today is ranked as the least free country or territory in the entire world by Freedom House, tied only with Syria and South Sudan, under the occupation of the Chinese Communist Party. And in 2009, a wave of self-immolations took over Tibet. Self-immolation is the act of lighting oneself on fire in form of protest. And inside Tibet today, over 160 Tibetans have taken that extreme act to protest against China's occupation. So many of you may be wondering, why would 160 people light themselves on fire? Why? Why would they do such a thing? There really is no one single answer to that question, but what we see in common is that all of these Tibetans have lived their entire lives since birth under a brutal, repressive occupation by China. And inside them, though, there was still this fire burning, a fire for freedom that the government could not douse. I share this about self-immolation inside Tibet because it shows that no matter how hard the CCP tries, they cannot douse that fire from inside the Tibetans. During the 1950s and 60s, the Chinese government came and stole Tibet's sovereignty and land. Then, in the 70s, they tried stealing our natural resources, but that wasn't enough. We still fought back. After over 30 years of China's occupation in Tibet, it was impossible for China to still break the spirit of the Tibetan people, so they prohibited us from speaking our own language. Now, after 70 years of China's settler colonial policies inside Tibet, the CCP still tries to break the Tibetan spirit, and now they've come to steal everything from us: the blood, the DNA of Tibetan people, the genetic privacy of millions of Tibetans, in the hopes that increasing surveillance and control of Tibet can be the final way in which China can completely control Tibet. In November of 2022, I helped launch a campaign by a US-based company called against a US-based company called Thermo Fisher, a company which is the largest bioinformatics company in the entire world, and it's worth over $40 billion. The CEO, Mark Casper, has provided technology and equipment to the Chinese police inside Tibet to be used to steal DNA from Tibetans. The company has also been complicit in supplying DNA kits to the Chinese police in occupied East Turkestan in the midst of a Uyghur genocide. We started this campaign because of that 5-year-old girl that I was telling you about in the beginning of my talk. But for me, I continue this campaign with determination because today it is Tibet, and tomorrow it could be Hong Kong or Belarus. It could be Cambodia or Nicaragua. The little girl I told you about could be a Burmese girl living under the military coup in Burma right now. If China succeeds in Tibet, it's not 50 years from now, maybe not even a decade. It could be any day, where authoritarian regimes start taking from Xi's playbook and implementing these tools of biometric repression as a new form of surveillance against activists and dissidents. Biometric repression is already here. In Tibet, the Chinese government is building this blueprint for how authoritarians around the world can use this data to repress, surveil, and control. Today, right now, it's the time to tell companies like Thermo Fisher to stop helping China steal Tibetan DNA. Don't let Xi Jinping advance the playbook for dictators. Don't let 2023 become an Orwellian 1984. Thank you.